Welcome to the weeblounge. I am Nick, and this is the Luna Tower in Princess Connect Redive. And this little guide is for anyone just starting out, or even when it shows up over on the global servers there. This is a very important thing to do every month, and I'm going to go over it, and I'm going to tell you why. All right, now the Luna Tower really only shows up for a few days every month. Now, when this exactly is going to start happening over on the global servers, not too sure. Right now on the JP, Luna Tower is available, but it's not going to be available for much longer. It only lasts a few days. And to gain access, you go to your quest screen and you see this little castle, whatever the heck that is, little thing with the swirling clouds and everything, right? Right there, that's your Luna Tower. Now, you might notice there's 500 floors along with a big old yellow chicken on the JP side right now. I've cleared it all. It wasn't terribly easy, and I'm still working on an EX battle, but that's a whole bunch of details you guys probably don't know what the heck's going on. Let me get down to the beginning here, which I have to scroll all the frickin' way down here for. Floor number 1. So what is it? Essentially, you're fighting floor by floor your way up this tower, and the tower is apparently infinite or whatever. Who knows? Because every time they come out with it, they add more floors, more floors. How many globals going to be starting out with at the very, very beginning? I think it's 70 floors, but don't hold me to that. I'm not terribly certain on that one. But anyways, here's how it works. On the first floor, you see you have Hiyori, a big old golem, and a couple other things. Well, that's what you're going to fight. You click the little blue button here to start combat. You form a group just like you would any other battle that you have to do. You go in and you fight. If you win, you win. If you don't, you don't. But there's different consequences with this one, and they can be very, very bad. Now, let's say you win, okay? You have all your characters, you win, boop, you go to floor number 2. If you don't, well, those characters are gone from Luna Tower. Can't use them anymore for 24 hours, okay? Luna Tower has a few restrictions. If your characters die, well, they're gone. You can't use them anymore until every 24 hours there's a little refresh button. You can click refresh and you get your characters back to use. Now remember, you only got a few days to advance as far as you can, so losing characters can be really, really detrimental to your advancement in this. So do your best not to lose any characters unless at some point you might have to have a little sacrifice in order to advance. Got to do what you got to do. And keep in mind, every time you clear this, every single floor has a jewel reward. They start out at 30, and you had some gear and some mana and stuff like that. And the further you push, typically, every 10 floors is a boss character. All right? So, let me go over that again just slightly, little bit real quick. If your characters die, they are gone. This is similar to what the Labyrinth does later on, okay? If your characters die while you're trying to progress, they're gone until you can do the refresh the next day. And it does keep your status, okay? If you cleared 5 floors and you do the refresh, those 5 floors are still cleared. You still have your progression. You don't lose progression. Even when the Luna Tower shuts down for the month and then it comes back the next month, you keep your progression. That never goes away. You're only going to be able to do these once. But let's say you get to the second, you get to the third, you get to the fourth, and you just keep climbing up and up and up, and you reach floor number 10. There's your first boss, which is the Aztec-y Mayan looking thing that I mentioned in another video because, yeah. Now, every 10th floor is typically going to have better rewards. Now, here you got a little special equipment thing and 100 jewels. That's a little bit better of a reward. So, take the other floors along with the 10th floor, you can kind of see just, how many jewels you're actually earning through this, plus not to mention mana and some other little pieces of gear. And also there's little stories that open up as you go, and those stories give you jewels as well. So this is almost like a bit of a jewel farm, okay? Now, you keep pushing up, and one of the strategies to keep in mind is as you're climbing up, like let's say you defeat whatever battle it is you're on. Let's say we're on 9, okay? I defeat this battle, but I didn't use any of my Union Bursts at all. All my characters, it ends the battle, all my characters are full health, full technique point gauge, okay? Ready to go. that carries over to the next one. Whatever your hit points were and your technique point gauge was at the end of the previous battle is how your characters will start the next one. So you need to be mindful of that, okay? So here's a real quick little tip. On tier 9, you want to finish this battle and try to have your health and technique points as high or maxed, if possible. So that way, when you go to old Mayan handy boss guy, guess what? Your technique points are ready to go. Your full hit points, you're ready to whoop this thing and whoop it hard, okay? Now, another thing you can do, you can swap in characters whenever you want. Let's say you have a group of 5 characters. Let's say you're on 8, okay? And you have a group of 5 characters. You end the battle, full health, full technique points. Okay, you can go to number 9 and put all 5 of those characters to the side and bring in 5 new characters. You can use those characters you put off to the side later. Whenever you want. So you pull in another 5 characters, just like you can do in the dungeons, the little labyrinth things, and you can start charging them up. So let's say you end fight 9 with a second group, full health, full technique point gauge, and you get to this one, the boss. Well, you send one group at it, full technique, full everything, trying to whoop up on it, but I guess you fail, right? Well, then you have another party, full technique point and everything ready to go to get in there and whoop it. So there's a little bit of strategy going on with it. The more characters you can prep for the boss fight, the better. But that doesn't mean the fights in between are pushovers. Some of them you'll just trash. Some of them, as you start getting higher, they're not that easy to get through. You need to be a little more careful. Now, like I said, I'm all the way up here crazy at 500 and everything, but so these fights start getting hurty, and they start hurting really, really bad. So it's not something that you can necessarily do. Not always, anyways. But let's see. Let's get to floor 29 here. Now you got to floor 30. That's fine. Now, floor 30 is just another boss, but look. It's that same stupid boss on floor 10, but now he's got help. He's got Akino there and a couple little floaty kind of sort of bird mannequin things. Well, I don't know what the heck those things are. But now you're starting to get memory fragments on top of other stuff. The rewards do start to increase rather dramatically. So when you're advancing through this, just keep in mind, you need to keep your characters as high health as possible. Keep their technique points gauges up. All these boss fights, they're like any other boss fight where certain strategies will work and certain ones will not. So you need to be really careful and get other characters geared up and ready to go as well. Now, as you start progressing this, there's something called EX battles that show up. And the first EX battle is at floor 70. And basically what that is, it's a slightly harder version of the boss that occupied that specific floor. And instead, you can fight as many times as you want. You form 3 different groups, almost like a Princess Arena thing. You form 3 groups, and in order, those 3 groups will fight that boss. If you clear it, you get some much better rewards. So, in order to prepare for the Luna Tower, there's not really anything you can do other than make sure you have as many characters available as high rank and level as possible. That's the best way to do it. There's nothing you can really do to kind of sort of prepare for this. It's just get as many characters as you can, as high level as you can, so that when you come in here, you can whoop it with as much stuff as you got. That's your strategy. Pretty much. Now, one little unique thing I'm going to mention, and this is on the JP server only, is that if you say just start on the JP server, when you get into this, you're going to have the option to actually skip to the boss, to the 10th floor, 20th floor, 30th floor, so on, until like 100, 200 something or whatever. It's going to let you do an awful lot of skips and just go, 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 go. This is to kind of get people caught up, right? And the cool thing is you still get all the rewards. It combines all the rewards from those 10 floors that you just skipped or whatever into one big little bonus, and then you fight the boss. It stops you at each boss. You have to still have to beat the bosses. And like I said, that's just kind of like a start dash thing or whatever. It's trying to help people who just started on a server that has like 3 years of content in there get a little bit of a boost and go without having to wade through 500 freaking floors. Because if you just started on JP and you're like, okay, well, I got 500 fights to do, yay. It's going to be a long time before you get that done. So it's just a little extra thing to do. So yeah, the Luna Tower, my advice with the Luna Tower is whatever the heck you can do to level up your characters, get in here and do this. Do not ignore the Luna Tower, because every month that comes around, they generally add 10 floors. So if the first time it comes around, it goes to floor 70, well, the next one's going to be 80, and the next one's going to be 90, and so on and so forth. Maybe they'll add more, I'm not sure. But yeah, getting these done, it's free jewels. It's free jewels, free loot, free goodies, as long as you got the characters to do it. And some of them do pose a good challenge, a fun challenge. With the exception of this one pig guy that I was on stream trying to kill this, and for whatever reason, the harder fight at floor 500 I could kill, but this 491 I couldn't do yet. I think I just need one little tweak and I can do it, but that's a different story. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button. If maybe you guys have any questions, mention them down in the comments, or hop on our Discord server. Links to all and everything's down below. And, you know, I actually can't wait for the Luna Tower to show up on Global, because I didn't get to experience the Luna Tower when it first came out. So it'll kind of sort of be a fresh experience for me, along with you guys that are just starting out on Global. Granted, I've cleared this on JP. It was not the easiest thing in the world. I still have an EX fight to do. So that, if that goes to tell you that you know, a max guy with a ridiculous amount of characters can't quite finish it up completely one little fight, that might tell you something on how hard it can get at some point. Oh man, but you know what? The rewards are worth it, and they really, really add up. We'll see you in the next video.